Welcome to Synced on Air. I'm your host, Angelique Robb, and today I have Jonathan Torres from Project Kinship in California. Welcome, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's great. We've met over LinkedIn, and you have a very powerful story to tell. And Project Kinship, maybe you could tell us a little bit about Project Kinship, and then we'll dive into your background and how you got there.
Okay, so Project Kinship is a nonprofit organization focusing on at-risk youth, or they have an adult section as well. We provide resources for these people, whether it's housing, food stipends, clothing. Put them in the programs to get certificates for a trade. And there's just so much that we do for the community.
Love it. Love it. Well, at-risk community, it sounds like you know that well. Can you tell us maybe a bit of, before you got into landscape architecture and you were previously incarcerated, is that right?
That's correct. At an early age, you know, I was in a single, I was in a home with just my mom, and my father wasn't around, and there was no sense of, I didn't have that sense of love in the house. I knew my mom worked hard and put food on the table, provided for her. There was no love there. So I found it with some of my homeboys out on the streets. So I joined the gang, and one thing led to another. I started getting incarcerated. So this
At
last
what
sentence I
age
did
was that?
when I first started.
When you were first incarcerated?
Oh, I was like 13 years old, juvenile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it was just like an in and out, it was like a web. I just got caught in a web. It's just like a cycle of me coming in and out. And then, one thing led to another. And then once I became an adult, I ended up in prison.
Yeah. And so yeah, it sounds like in and out, not really knowing a path of
No
anything
direction.
else.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And I
Unfortunately,
think
like that certain type of lifestyle was glorified. Yeah, so that's unfortunate because these communities like this type of lifestyle is glorified, and like it just like it's a constant cycle for each decade. It just like keeps going, and it's very sad.
Well, and I think if you don't see other options, you don't know anything else. I mean, 13 is a very impressionable age, and yeah, if everybody around you has that certain lifestyle, how do you get out?
Yeah, I mean that's all I knew. So
And so at what age is it when you're an adult, is that considered 18 or 21 in the prison
18.
system? 18.
So
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about how you got introduced to or even thought about, breaking this cycle for yourself.
okay, so I served 16 years in prison, and to be honest with you, like the first 10 years, I was still being a knucklehead in there. Um, there came a point in time I got released around 2021. So like in 2018, I finally like opened my eyes, and I was like tired. I was tired of being in the system. I was tired of being, in a little cell. I missed my family. I was away for so long, and I just got tired of all the nonsense that was going on in there. I knew if I didn't make a change that I was going to spend the rest of my life in there. And that's not anybody to that's not a place for anybody to spend the rest of their lives with in that type of environment. So I started enrolling in school inside of the prison. They have a couple colleges depending where you're at. Like a proctor will come in and then like give you the textbook and scantrons, and you just mail your assignments to him, and then he'll grade
Okay.
them. That's how we do it in there. So
Okay.
yeah, and then
And what kind of courses did you try to start with?
just general education courses.
Mm,
Yeah, just get my general education out the way, and then I started hearing about Project Rebound, which is a program. in the CSUs, for formerly incarcerated students. But Cal Poly Pomona, just caught my eye. They have a great environmental design program, and I was interested from the beginning. I was in correspondence with Project Rebound at Cal Poly Pomona, and as soon as I got out in 2021, they were there for me. Like they met up with me. They helped me fill out my college application. They tried to get me in, but unfortunately, I didn't have the golden door like to transfer to a university. So I had to do a semester at the local JC, which is Mount Sac. And so I finished my golden core that semester, and then I was able to transfer the next semester to California.
And you picked landscape architecture? Is that what you
Yeah, so
majored in?
yeah, I see because I've always been interested in architecture, right? Like I have family members in Mexico that are architects, and and they've been practicing forever for years and years. And so so when I was away in prison, like the setting is just concrete and dirt, and that was my setting for 16 years. So when I got released, like I found a new appreciation for landscape, just for beautiful landscapes, whatever it may be, trees, shrubs, grass, it doesn't matter. I just I just found myself admiring like these landscapes, right? And so when I went to Cal Poly, I found out they had a landscape architecture program, and I'm just like, you know what, like architecture and landscape, why not? Let's do it. So I fell in love.
It's great. I mean, and it must be such like you're describing the prison, what a contrast, the greenery and, there's a lot of science that supports that, you know, greenery around us makes us feel better. It cleans the air, but it can even be fake grass like what I have on the wall.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and it sounds like you had it in your blood too, in your family. There's some architecture in there. Well, and so then you started once you got your landscape architecture degree, you started working for other companies or did you work for other companies while you were getting your degree?
Well, I was working for a design and build company,
Mhm.
while I was going to school. I was on site, hands dirty, just learning about drip irrigation and installing, and you know, making a manifold from a spigot and all the valves, and like hardscaping and electrical, like the lighting, and the landscape. I just learned so much from this company. I'm so grateful. And, I mean, plant placing and you name it, so,
All the practical side,
all the
yeah, that you
practical
don't
stuff
get
that,
from the book.
no, no. Yeah, and like, it's just like, you take pride in that. Because like you're in the field, and then you're just like, it feels so good and especially like when you come back like 6 months later and everything's just flourishing. It's just,
Yeah.
it's such a beautiful feeling. Yeah.
Awesome. And so I guess after a was it a few years that you're working with the landscape company that you ended up coming to Project Kinship?
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a friend that's a contractor, and I was doing some consulting. I'm grateful to be able to pick up my software skills, and so I started designing landscapes for him, and he would pay me, which was great. It's more experience for me. So yeah, so when I graduated, I have a friend. I have a friend who works at Project Kinship, and then
Okay.
he was telling me all about it, and he was telling me specifically, like, like you would be working with the youth, and I'm in. So I was just like automatically, like when I went for the interview, and then I got hired. I was so happy, I was so grateful, and and yeah, I mean, I just hit the ground running. Like these youth, like they're such good kids, right? Like they just need direction. I mean, just like how I was when I was a youth. I didn't have that resources. I didn't have those resources when I was younger. So so for me to let's see, like I'll have access to go inside the juvenile hall and like hold groups and like hold one-on-one sessions with them and kind of just build that mentorship and that bond with them. And then
Mhm.
when they get released, they come to the office and like I already have that relationship with them. But then like we focus on this roadmap of success, right? For them to not go
Help
back.
connect them with maybe companies that they could work for and get more experience under their belt.
Yeah, like
Wow.
we'll make their we'll help them, make their resume, and then we'll have job search, and we'll provide like nice clothing for their interview. And yeah, this we do, we do we support them as much as possible.
So how many youths do you have in your program right now that you're working with?
We'll see. My case though, like like I'm a team of three. Like we have a clinician and we have a case manager, and then myself. Like I'm like my title is a credible messenger. Like I have experience of of being incarcerated and you know uh, changing my life. Like be a good role model.
Yeah.
So that's my title. So like our case though, we have like 50 something kids, 50 something youth. Yeah. And then just like, and we have like three teams. So, there's a lot of youth that are being helped.
And so I mean, what's the youngest in your group? Is it similar to like 13 to 18 or is it even younger?
Like 13, 14 is the youngest, I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it's so impressive what you've done to turn your life around. I mean, you mentioned that you had tattoos removed,
Oh yeah, I had my
go
whole
ahead.
neck. I had my whole neck full of tattoos. I got that lasered off. I had my head, full of tattoos. I got that all lasered off. So yeah, I mean, it's just like a whole new chapter of my life, So I'm just so happy and excited for what's to come in this, like, in my new journey, like of being a productive member of society. So, and plus I want to add that, I go to like I hold a group inside the juvenile hall, and then this unit is for like this unit, like they have the inmates that commit serious crimes like murder, attempted murder, robbery, and they're in there for years. So that's the one that I volunteered to be in. And I love going there because like these kids, although they made bad choices, like they're good kids, like like they have good hearts, and it shows every time I go there. Like they're genuinely respectful. They're nice, and they just messed up. And everybody deserves a second chance. So, but like with that being said, I'm excited, like to announce that pretty soon, like I'm getting a curriculum like all together for like a 6 week to 12 week class
Mhm.
about landscape architecture. And I have professors from Cal Poly Pomona just like ready to go and come in the juvenile hall and like talk about landscape architecture. And hopefully these kids will get a furlough and then not get to visit the campus and just show them like anything's possible. You made these mistakes, but look at me. I overcome my obstacles and then look where I'm at now. You know, I hope I'm that good role model for them. And I'm just excited. Like, of course, like this has to be cleared by by the higher ups. And I mean, I mean, I don't see why not. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. Yeah, I'm so excited.
That is amazing. And I mean, you're opening up a whole nother, career opportunity
Mhm.
for the youth that you're taking care of. And yeah, I think the more I've heard about the service that, Project Kinship, I mean, there's even residential sides to it, like they can stay at the campus if they need, or is that what you had said earlier? That, I mean, there's all kind of services available to help these youth stay on the right track. And I
Oh yeah,
think that it
there's so
must be
much to it.
tempting to, fall back into your old ways and your old friends but like, it's a lot of support that the project offers for them.
So many resources. It's a beautiful thing. And like, I just hope I become that mentor to them because like I want to give a shout out to a couple of my mentors like while I was going to school. And Rachel Boer, who is deputy director of the LAF. I'm just so blessed that she's been my
Yeah.
mentor through this journey. And Claire Latane, and she's the chair of the landscape architecture department. at Cal Poly Pomona. And those two ladies were like my guardian angels, like just looking over me and just helping me every step of the way. So I don't think I could have done it without them. Like in my journey through still my life.
Well, and you're giving it back. I mean, you're now mentoring all these youth that they're gonna thank you in, you know, 10 years or 5 years or 15, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I really think that, the support that you're giving to them is invaluable, and it's probably, yeah, you got that support, now you're giving it back. Just imagine that the snowball effect of this,
Yeah.
hopefully then the youth that you're talking to may not, have their kids put in that position that they don't know anything else by the time they're having kids. So, what a great steward you are, and love that you're doing this. Love that you were able to have the strength to turn your life around. And I'll make sure to get the right spelling of these mentors so we can tag them in the post and give them the kudos that they deserve. Maybe you can tell us and the synced community how we can help you guys. We have, education that we offer, and maybe we can tap into your course and help some way, you know, help them get jobs when they're graduating from the program, anything like that. So,
Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Of course, I have to talk to leadership and and see what what could be done. But I'll definitely respond with what we can do or what you guys can do. I mean, any type of help we appreciate because like these kids, I truly see, but they want to change. They're great kids. They have a beautiful heart, and all they need is just a little bit of direction, and then and they could be productive members of society. So they just like I wake up every day happy and like I can't wait to go to work. Like so, I mean that's how it should be, right?
it
I
should be.
just yeah, I'm truly grateful for this opportunity.
Well, yeah. Thanks for doing such a great role. And we'll also put a link to Project Kinship so people can read more about it and spread the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jonathan. Is there anything else you want to tell our audience? Any advice or anything else?
Um, I can't think of anything at the moment, so
Don't worry, I put you on the
I
spot.
know. I'm like,
Well, I guess one of the things that came to my mind is maybe we need more greenery in prisons to inspire more people to, love the natural world. And that's something that I've taken away, that vision of what you've described in the prison walls, maybe indoor plants, them taking care of them. I mean, it's, you have to start somewhere. And
and I
concrete
mean,
walls and dirt does not sound,
been in some of these schools out here, like these high schools,
yeah.
like they sometimes they remind me of like a prison, like a yard because it's just all concrete and like cement. Like I hardly see any trees. Yeah, it's just amazing. Like, I mean, some of these schools can use way more shade and a lot more trees and green space for sure.
Well, good. And I think that we'll put a link to your LinkedIn profile as well, because again, maybe this is something that you can give more advice on for, companies, how to improve the schools so that they're infused with a bit more life and greenery and shade and outdoor space. I mean, I do think that COVID taught us that we need to embrace more outdoor living, but there's a lot of infrastructure that you need to be able to do that. And that's where landscape architecture is perfect to help these schools. So good. Well, maybe we need to do an article on, transforming schools with more greenery.
Well, I mean, quick shout out to my mentor Claire Latane. She has a book out about schools and mental health with landscape architecture. Uh, you guys can check
Good.
it out.
All right. Well, we'll add that to the show notes too.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, good, Jonathan. Thanks for being on today. And I look forward to being in touch with you. We've sent you some magazines in the mail because you weren't getting them before. So let's stay in touch and see how we can help
Thank you
each
so
other.
much. Thank you so much, Angelique. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Great to know you, Jonathan. Bye.